The sun bleeds orange across a quiet highway, flanked by cotton fields and sagging barns. A sleek black SUV glides along, its chrome rims catching the fading light. Inside, Marcus Wright, 45, a black man with a chiseled jaw and piercing eyes, grips the wheel. His tailored suit is impeccable, a gold watch glinting on his wrist. The radio hums softly, a jazz melody weaving through the air. Blue and red lights flare in the rearview mirror, sharp and intrusive. Marcus's brow furrows, a flicker of irritation crossing his face. He eases the SUV to the shoulder, tires crunching on gravel, dust swirling in the twilight. A police cruiser pulls up behind, its headlights harsh. Marcus adjusts his tie, his posture deliberate, and rests his hands on the wheel. The cruiser's door slams. Officer Jim Crawford, 50s, white with a paunch and a scowl, strides toward the SUV. His hand rests on his holster, fingers twitching. Marcus exhales, reaching for his wallet with slow precision. Crawford snatches the license, scanning it under his flashlight's beam. He steps closer, his shadow looming. Marcus opens the door and steps out, hands raised, his movements calm but guarded. Crawford's eyes narrow, his face hardening. Marcus stands tall as Crawford pats him down, the officer's hands rough and lingering. Crawford shoves Marcus against the SUV, the metal cold against his palms. Headlights appear in the distance. A pickup truck slows, its driver, a young black man, Tyrell, 20s with a wary gaze, watches the scene. He pulls out his phone, recording, his hands unsteady. Crawford notices, his eyes flashing. Tyrell hesitates, then drives off, his phone still capturing the encounter. Crawford cuffs Marcus's wrists, the metal biting into his skin, and shoves him toward the cruiser. The screen fades to black. Title card: the judge dismissed his case, then he owned the courthouse. County jail, holding cell, night. Marcus sits on a rusted bench in a dimly lit cell, his suit rumpled, his watch glinting faintly. The air is thick with mildew, the walls stained with years of neglect. The cell door clanks open, and Deputy Lena Morales, 30s, Latina, with a sharp gaze and tense posture, steps inside. Marcus stands, brushing off his jacket, his movements deliberate. He adjusts his cufflinks, a quiet resolve settling over him. Small-town courthouse, day. The courthouse looms over the town square, its white columns chipped, its steps worn by decades of footfalls. A crowd gathers, their signs bold with demands for justice. Tyrell stands among them, showing his phone footage to reporters, his hands steady now. Marcus exits the jail, Lena at his side, cameras flashing like a storm. The crowd surges forward, their cheers a rising tide. In the distance, Crawford watches from his cruiser, his face dark, his fingers drumming on the steering wheel. Courthouse, courtroom, day. Marcus sits at the plaintiff's table, his lawyer, Sarah, 40s, white with a sharp suit and sharper eyes, beside him. The courtroom is packed, the air thick with tension. Judge Harold Benton, 60s, white with a stern face and cold eyes, presides from the bench. Marcus's lawsuit against the county for racial profiling lies open before him, its pages worn from scrutiny. Sarah hands Marcus a file, her expression grim. Benton's gavel falls, the sound sharp, his face unyielding. The crowd murmurs, their anger palpable. Marcus's jaw tightens, his eyes burning with defiance. Flashback fix. Atlanta slum day 20 years ago. A younger Marcus, in a threadbare jacket, stands outside a crumbling apartment building, its windows boarded. He clutches a notebook, his handwriting dense with property listings. A landlord, 50s, white with a sneer, slams the door in his face. Marcus's shoulders slump, but his eyes flicker with resolve. He walks down the street, passing a group of kids playing in a vacant lot, their laughter bright against the decay. He pauses, sketching a vision of a new building in his notebook, his hands steady. Marcus's office, night present. Marcus sits at a mahogany desk in a sleek high-rise, the city skyline glittering through floor-to-ceiling windows. Photos of renovated buildings line the walls, testaments to his real estate empire. He studies a county map, its edges curling, marking the courthouse's location with a red pen. His phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number glowing on the screen. He deletes it, his jaw tightening. A knock at the door. Tyrell enters, clutching a USB drive, his face pale. Marcus plugs it into his laptop, the screen flickering with grainy footage. Crawford and a bailiff exchanging cash in a dark alley, their movements furtive. Marcus leans back, his mind racing. Marcus's gaze turns wary, a warning in his expression. Rural road, night. Tyrell drives along a winding road, his phone buzzing with notifications. Headlights flare behind him, harsh and unrelenting. A truck roars up, tailgating, its engine a menacing growl. Tyrell's hands tighten on the wheel as he accelerates, but the truck matches his speed. A hand leans out, tossing something. A brick smashes through his windshield, glass shattering. Tyrell swerves, tires screeching as the truck peels off into the night. His car skids into a ditch, steam hissing from the hood. Hospital room, day. Tyrell lies in a hospital bed, bandaged but awake, his eyes defiant. Marcus sits beside him, his face a storm of fury and guilt. He grips Tyrell's hand, his touch steady. He steps into the hall, pulling out his phone, his expression darkening as he makes a call. County Commission Office, day. Marcus stands before Commissioner Edward Hale, 60s, white, with a polished demeanor and cold eyes. Crawford and the bailiff linger nearby, their faces smug. Marcus stands firm, unflinching. The bailiff steps forward, holding a file, his smirk sharp. Marcus's eyes flash, but his composure holds. Hale raises a hand, his expression dismissive. Marcus walks out, leaving the bailiff's smugness faltering. XD Town Festival, night. The town festival hums with life, lanterns glowing, music drifting over the crowd. Marcus, in a casual jacket, walks with his sister in her 30s and her daughter Zoe 10, their faces bright with joy. Zoe tugs at Marcus's hand, her eyes wide with wonder. Nia pulls Marcus aside, her expression clouded with worry. Marcus hugs her, his embrace fierce. A shot cracks through the air, sharp and sudden. The crowd screams, scattering like leaves in a storm. Marcus shields Zoe, his eyes scanning the chaos. A figure in a hoodie sprints into an alley, a shadow among the buildings. Marcus hands Zoe to Nia and bolts after the figure, his heart pounding. Alley night. Marcus races through the narrow alley, crates and trash cans blurring past, the figure just ahead. He tackles them, pinning a young man, 20s, white, to the ground. It's Danny, a local with a rap sheet, his face twisted with defiance. Marcus restrains him, his breath ragged, his mind racing. His phone buzzes, Lena's name on the screen. Marcus answers, his eyes locked on Danny, realization dawning like a storm breaking. Reporters swarm, their cameras relentless. Nia and Zoe rush to Marcus, their embrace tight with relief. Tyrell stands nearby, his phone still recording, a quiet triumph in his eyes. Marcus sits at a polished desk, the courthouse now his, its deed framed on the wall. A photo of the Atlanta kids from his youth sits beside him. He picks it up, his eyes softening, a weight lifting from his shoulders. He pins a new policy memo to the wall, its title bold, Judicial Equity Initiative. Outside, the town glows under a full moon, the night calm but charged with promise.